Hello, 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 hello. You alright? Who've we got in with us today? No one's chatting yet. You're all lurking. Hello there, how are you going? Just so you know, guys, no more Sunday show. That's it. We've killed it. Because my little girl starts school today. So I'm gonna have the daytimes a little bit clearer for now. So for now, we're going to be doing a noon broadcast every day. I'm going to be keeping it a little bit shorter, a little bit sweeter, rather than sort of doing epic 2, 3, 4 hour broadcasts on a Sunday. We'll break it up through the week. It also means there might not be as much live reaction because I'm trying to keep it a little bit shorter. It might be the case that, you want to talk about a certain story, and please comment, please tweet me. If there's anything you want to talk about, let me know always. But if it's a big one, I might not go off on a tangent. I don't know, because I've got responsibilities and all. You know how it is. So there's a good chance I'll leave it for the day after, depending on the context and all that. Today we're going to be talking about straight pride. Sarkar and the Dark Crystal, but before we do, I just put my little girl in school, man. I'm freaking out. Just walks away. She just kissed me. Bye-bye, and she's just playing with sand, and it's fine, and she's all right. So her class started at 9. By 9:01, I've already singled myself out as the problem parent. There was a little box to tick and sign where you're giving consent for them to give her details and contact outside agencies and stuff like that, and I didn't sign it. I was like, no, you do not have my consent for that. It's too vague and generic. I'm not just there you go, there's my daughter's privacy, just one little tick. Fuck off. Especially the amount of hate and weirdos I get on this. No, I'm not having that. And not only that, you hear all... So what I said to her, she said it's totally standard, it's for the school nurse and that. And I says, well, it doesn't say school nurse. There's no itemised thing of who I'm giving permission to here. So I said, I tell you what, as a compromise, you give me a list of every person that this specific permission was used for last year. And I'm happy to sign it. Let me know. Give me an example of how this gets used. She didn't have it. And I was like, well, you can't tell me how this was used last year, and you expect me to just sign it now, do you? Fuck off. There was a huge queue as well. There was a massive queue, all the parents with the same forms, paying for the milk and all that. And there's just difficult me. So yeah, once I finish today, I'm going to go back a little bit early and carry on arguing. I mean, come on though. GDPR. We are still in the EU, thank you very much. And if you're sharing my daughter's data, I have a right to know with who. And if you don't keep a record of it, then you can't be trusted. Piss off. Anyway, yeah. So they already know. I'm already the bad one. Guys, don't forget to go on Trigger Warning TV. You can get the podcast, you can get the latest clip, you can get articles, you can get merch, you can get everything. The merch as well, if you click through to that, is a way to support the show. If you're not a big fan of Patreon or PayPal, links to which are in the description, you can go directly and just become a Trigger Warning supporter. How awesome is that? Right, let's get on with it. I'm so happy about this one. Can you imagine anything as ridiculous as having a straight pride parade? Straight people aren't being killed for it. They're not being oppressed. Someone might be a bit rude or whatever. But can you imagine something as silly as a straight pride parade and then putting a gay conservative at the front of it? Dude turned up wearing a red MAGA hat with a Make America Straight Again on. Full glitz. Cheered. People adored him. Who else did they invite to the Straight Pride Parade? Oh, they had the Trump Unity Bridge. Oh, not Trump. No. Let's go. Into a black woman of colour. A woman. A black man. Another black man. Oh, terrible. And another woman of colour. Terrible. To celebrate being heterosexual. What a disgusting bunch of perverts, eh? Now, look at this. I love this. Make normalcy normal again. This is ridiculous. Dude's dressed as clowns. He's got his MAGA hats. They're having a good time. This guy is dressed as some sort of Pepe frog half clown with what looks like Sargon of Akkad in a sort of sexy manga pose. These guys are idiots, man. They're having a lot of fun. There is nothing more stupid than this, apart from protesting it. Can you imagine turning up to protest a load of fools that are just having a good time? Can you imagine clothing up with your black garb and screaming, Boston hates you, to go home and all this? Can you imagine being so mind-fucked that you actually convince yourself that this is about white supremacy? That they've got a gay dude at the head of it. They've got a gay Grand Marshal. They were all chanting that they wanted to suck Trump's cock. Got all these people. But no. It's white supremacy, isn't it, man? Apparently the protesters dwarfed the 100 to 200 people who went to the parade. And I think this is insane. This is insane. This is exactly what they want. It's a troll. It is a political troll. That these people have convinced themselves that all the straight people are Nazis, white supremacists, fascists, all that stuff. They've convinced themselves that because they're in their little circle jerk of positive, right, positive reaffirmation or whatever, blah, 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 blah. It goes round and round and goes, blah, 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 definitely, because they think red hats are terrifying at this point. Bless them. Now, if you go on the official website, it says here, it's gone now. But there was a whole thing that said, this is inclusive for everyone. It's nothing but a celebration, blah 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 blah, and it's an obvious troll. It's ridiculous. And what they want to happen ultimately is they want a load of far left nut jobs to stand there protesting heterosexuality. Most of them might have been in Trump hats and all the rest of it, but that's not the optics. They want the normies. They want the people who don't really pay too much attention to go, what? There was a straight pride parade? That's stupid. But then what they do after that is they go, but people were protesting being straight. What the fuck? And the idea is, obviously, like, well, I like some of these. I like the idea of minimum wage and workers' rights and all that stuff. But I'm not going to vote for people who hold in their ranks someone that would actually scream at you for being straight. It feeds into the meme, and not only that, it went perfectly. This clip of the straight pride parade just depicts just how ridiculous the whole thing was. Greg Evans at the Independent, mate. That's the point. It was supposed to be ridiculous. I know that you think you're owning them with this headline. I know that you think that, and you will. Some people will just be there going, "It's ridiculous. They're not oppressed." Blah 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 blah. It's not the point. It was a celebration, man. Sure, there might have been a few idiots there taking it the wrong way here or there, or whatever. But it was a celebration, and they're going to happen again, and they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because it's fun. Because the left have forgotten how to have fun. And that's the thing at the moment. In the same way that 20 years ago, the left was all about mocking the sort of the religious freaks that were like, no fun, ban The Simpsons. I remember that. I remember kids who weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons because The Simpsons was so dangerous. And we took the mick out of them. We made fun of them. But now the left has become pious. That's what Dave Chappelle did the other day when he just rips apart how pious they are. I don't want to say outright religious because at least religion has hope usually, but for them it's all sin and punishment and nothing else. The right now have realised that their best weapon is to just have fun. And I love it. I absolutely adore it. The organisers, who call themselves the Straight Pride Coalition, they are adopting the language of the left to mock the left. The group have already been discovered to have links to far-right and white nationalist groups. Yeah, I'll fucking take that with a pinch of salt. In the space of 120 seconds, you can see someone dressed as a dinosaur, someone dressed as a shark, carrying Straight Lives Matter, a wacky with flavour, yeah, the tube, man, lots of American flags, lots of Trump flags. That's the other thing as well. It was listed on the website that you had to be a patriot. A few Israeli, oh my god, a clown, a float promoting super fun, happy America. They also appear to be listening to a song called Freedom. Freedom. Can you imagine? Think about it. The optics. If you don't live and breathe this shit, if you're not into it, if you don't live on Twitter, because Twitter tried to adopt the clown meme for it, which is hilarious because they were intentionally dressed as clowns, but whatever. If you're not into all this, all you're seeing is just a load of people having a good time, and then it being protested, and it not only that, it went perfectly, exactly as intended. Here we go, guys. Pink News. Check this headline out. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez shuts down Boston straight pride. She didn't shut it down, though, did she? She didn't shut anything, and she doesn't hold back. AOC, who polls really low. People hate her. People can't stand her. I know woke celebrities are all about it, thriving and all the rest of it, but people cannot stand Cortez at all. So this is perfect. Pink News, chasing the rage clicks. Pink News is such a trash organisation these days. Absolute filth. I honestly believe it was started in good faith, but it's just fallen away. It's fallen away to this rage bait nonsense. And and ultimately, you're going to have a few super woke, pious freaks doing all that, sharing this, going, yeah, but the vast majority of just normal middle-of-the-road people who are getting on with their lives, all they're going to know is this crazy socialist hates straight people now. It's insane! For men who are allegedly so proud of being straight, they seem to show real incompetence at attracting women to their event. Well, most of the speakers were women, dude. Most of the, I mean, I've got it there. And not only that, I've looked at that video. I've looked at the pictures. There was loads of women there. It's just a meme. Everyone's just telling each other the same thing. Oh, there's no women. There's no women. I can see one right there. But, I mean, obviously, more men. Not going to doubt that. And I'm not going to doubt there was a few knobheads in the crowd too. But this nonsense propaganda, all this is going to do is get women to show up. If you're gonna mock straight people, if you're going to mock straight pride in such a manner where you're not in on the joke, all you're going to do is encourage more women to go. They're like, you know what? This is going to piss off AOC. If this is going to get so many headlines, I'm going to be there, man. Was one of many who took to Twitter to mock those who marched. Twitter isn't real life. Tiny fraction of the population are on Twitter, and of that, 80% of the tweets are done by like 10%. Was it 10% or 12%? I can't remember. But most of the tweets are done by a tiny minority of lonely women. So yeah, and here's the thing as well, man. Something can trend with just 4,000, and I saw the same thing over and over. So you know it's these forums. You know it's these forums going, right, clown. Everyone tweet about clown. Get it trending. We'll defeat it and that. And it's like ultimately, nobody cares. People don't go on Twitter. I've not been on it that much. I haven't got a clue. I've been dripping in now and again. I'm like, oh my God. It's just a constant clusterfuck. It's constant rage. It doesn't make any sense. The outspoken Democrat urged her followers to donate to the Solidarity Against Hate Legal Defense Fund. Here's the thing, right? You, AOC, and your friends and your little group, where you've got all these weird linguistic traps and all this other nonsense that's going on, you've convinced yourself that all Trump supporters are racist. You've convinced yourself that people who love America are white supremacists. They have to be, because you've got all these things and you just keep saying slavery and over again to each other. But the fact is that most people who love America or any country, because this shit's coming to the UK, I promise you this. Most people who have pride and want their country to do well are not racist. They're not bad people. They might not understand other cultures. They might even put the foot in the mouth in terms of just saying ignorant shit. But that doesn't mean they hate people. That doesn't mean they want to destroy people. But you and the super woke, you're so convinced of this. I had someone tell me that a MAGA hat stands for genocide. Literally genocide. It's just like, dude, solidarity against hate. People aren't falling for this nonsense anymore, man. If someone stood there saying it's okay to be straight, you can say whatever kind of dog whistle it is. But ultimately, there's more and more people who will see that and just be like, well, yeah, it is. And they're like, oh, yeah, but they're trolling. It's like, yeah, so? They're having fun! Jesus Christ! One way to support the local LGBTQ community impacted by Boston's white supremacist parade, AOC. LGBTQ people were welcome. It said it on the website. Everyone was welcome. This parade wasn't done at the exclusion of anyone else. That's the political trap. And the fact that you people don't get it because you're fishing for likes actually blows my mind. And it's because you've lost your sense of humour. It's just pure outrage, cancel culture, policing people's language. You know, if you're not perfect, then you are a Nazi. And that's what you've got. And it's like, it doesn't impact LGBTQ people in any way whatsoever. In any way. It just goes past. I get parades. I live on quite a major road. I get parades all the time going past some religious cult or whatever, some sect. Doesn't hurt. Don't care. See someone in a red cap. I saw someone in a MAGA hat the other day. Dude's a socialist. Dude's like a full-on, full-blown, like, Labour. Like, he's great to talk to because he's got so many blind spots. It's hilarious. I love winding him up about Israel. He thought that Jews just moved there. And I was like, mate, Jews have lived in that area for thousands of years, man. Like, literally. He's like, what? Fake news. I was like, look, you can argue whether or not Jesus exists, but the one thing that nobody argues about was him being Jewish. You know, nobody goes, well, they made up that Jesus, and I was fake, and then he fucked off. I saw him in a MAGA hat the other day. Did I freak out? Did the women and the minorities there freak? No, everyone just sat there like, okay, he's wearing a MAGA hat. So what? Didn't make a difference. These people don't care. Jesus Christ, one way to support. Impacted by the white supremacist parade. People aren't falling for it anymore. Look, if you want your political ideas to win, you've got to stop lying about people. Yeah, have you noticed they say white supremacy now? Because they used to call everyone a racist. And then all these supposed racist groups had so many black people, had so many people of different ethnicities and gay and straight and all the rest of it. They had so many people involved with them, for example, the Proud Boys, that they couldn't say racist anymore. They now say white supremacist. And it's just like an NPC. They've been reprogrammed, haven't they? And they're like, the reason that they can't say racist, I mean, well, because they're fucking racist for a start, but the reason they don't say that anymore is they say white supremacist, which is phenomenal projection, because then that accounts for the dark people there. Because they've got internalized white supremacy, they're Uncle Toms and such like, and that's how the mental conditioning carries on. They're not white supremacy. Jesus Christ, white supremacy is an issue on the left. A huge intersectionality. Look into intersectionality. It's just white supremacy. That's all it is. Anyway, for the activists who put themselves on the line protecting them. You grifter! 24 grand. Boston straight pride ridiculed bad internet. Hundreds of people, overwhelmingly straight white men. Well, we all know how evil straight white men are. We all know that, don't we, eh? Of course they were straight. Descended on the postern for Saturday, blah, 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 blah. Organised by Super Happy Fun America. Surely the name of the company lets you know it's a troll. It's a stunning political ploy, but no. A group with ties to white supremacist organisations. There's no link out to that. Did you link earlier, though? Did you link earlier? No, you didn't, did you? You all just... Notice they're saying the same thing that the other articles said. They all just parrot each other. And it gets parroted, and this is the thing about it. You can't say Chinese whispers anymore, can you? It's telephone or whatever. Was outclassed by 1,000-strong counter-protest. Idiots! Absolute idiots! 1,000 people turned up to protest straight people. Fools! Absolute fools. Unbelievable. Guys, you're all very quiet today. Thanks for watching. Creeping on. I think some of you are going to be in work. I like the idea of that. Some of you told me that. You sit there and work with your headphones on. Just listening. Well, you can get used to it now because it's going to be noon every day. So time your lunch break then. Whack it on. Hey, we'll catch up. And if you can't, let me know in the comments afterwards. What do you think of this straight pride nonsense? I love this as well. I'm going to end on this. Milo put out a video. I've not even watched it yet. I just saw the thumbnail. He called it the Final Frontier. And it's S for straight coming on. And you know what? As much as this is going to piss off all the right people, I agree with it, man. We need to stop whacking letters on everything. We need to stop compartmentalising everyone. Stop putting labels and that whole thing of like how oppressed you are and, oh, well, you're this group. And the bees are the bees are worse than T's at the moment because no one cares about the bees. The bees are losing their mind trying to get victim points up there and all the rest of it. But for me, I agree. Add an S onto it. Let's get back to respecting people as an individual. Let's get back to just judging people on the content of the character. Hey? Not this weird far left nonsense where everything is about skin colour, where everything is about what's between your legs, where everything is about what you think should be between your legs. It's not about that, man. It never was and it never should be. We were over this. And they're just not letting it die. All in the name of diversity and inclusion and all. Gad Sad puts it amazingly. Die. Diversity, inclusion, equity. Die. They just want everyone to die. And yeah, it's fair enough, man. And it's nonsense. And the fact is that it won't just put Trump and Boris in power. It'll put the next people in power as well. Predecessors is the wrong word. But the next, Trump 2.0, the next Boris, they'll be in power again. Because ultimately, people are going to vote with the person with just even a hint of sense of humour about him. And the left have lost their fucking mind. Did you see Connie Hook shouting on about chopping people's heads off and all this nonsense? And I see the point she was saying. And then that knobhead from Manchester, what's his name, going on about how people that voted Leave shouldn't get the flu virus and let them die and all. It's just like, oh mate. They've lost it. People are going to vote for the people with the fucking clowns. It's insane. Anyway, speaking of all this nonsense... The BBC had a documentary on. It's the first of 3 parts called Rise of the Nazis. And there's been a lot of anger about it. It did the trick in terms of everyone going, this is just like Boris Johnson. This is exciting. It's like, it fucking isn't. Jesus Christ. Not even close. Not even slightly close. But bless, people have very... tiny imaginations and they can't really hold things for very long, do they? Which is fine. I understand. But the controversy about it was, aside from the people making ridiculous comparisons to where we are right now, was the anger at the decision to include Ash Sarkar, who defended Warsaw Ghetto Wall graffiti. She's a senior editor at Novara Media, scumbags, who notoriously sent her solidarity to a woman who sprayed anti-Israel graffiti. And everyone's been losing their mind about this. Because she's an anti-Semite, she's not a historian, which is quite a fair point, isn't it? She's not a historian, and there is the argument for that. Like, why are you spending my license fee money on this idiot, this activist? But I have another perspective for you. Okay, she might hate the Jews, so there's a little bit of a thing there, reason to get her on. But she's literally a communist. And if you're going to talk about a totalitarian, murderous regime, then who better to get on than a modern-day communist? They're not going to get a Nazi on, are they? The BBC haven't got the balls to do that. Which they should. Can you imagine how awesome that would have been? Can you imagine how great that would have been? It would have been fucking hilarious. Just a straight-up Nazi sitting there going, Hitler didn't do anything wrong. It would have been great. Balance! That's what you paid for. But they did the next best thing. They got a communist. Someone who advocates for slavery, for nominal destruction and death. I saw someone the other day saying, oh, no. It did work once. Barcelona, 1938. I was like, really? The Red Terror. 8,000 killed in one... Oh. Anyway, idiots, absolute idiots. But yeah, I think this was a good idea. I think it's good they got her on. Let's get the murderous, oppressive perspective on things. Right before I go, last thing. Guys, have you seen this yet? The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. You know what? I was watching it. First episode, first 10 minutes, I was like, mate, why have they just made the Dark Crystal again? Because it looked like it was going to be the exact same story. I was like, why have they just made the Dark Crystal again? But it looks kind of a bit shitter. Like, it didn't have that dirtiness to the film quality. It was just too clean looking and that. And then I was like, why the hell have they done this? But I stuck with it because I do have good memories of this from when I was a kid. And mate, it gets so good. Like, you don't often get things with a PG rating that actually mean parental guidance. This stuff has got like eye gouging, patricide, someone's dad being dragged to really horrible deaths, and whilst essentially it is a human being just holding a puppet going like that. But the reality is of the shot is there's a puppet with tears streaming down its eyes, wind and strobe lighting going, Father! And then just going, no! Lots of really bad shit happens in this show, and I highly recommend it. There was a moment in the last episode where my girl walked in, and I was just like, I was literally sitting there going, because there's a whole thing with the Skeksis and they die, and it kind of plays with some of the themes that you're aware of if you've ever watched it. But no, highly recommend. Bit slow to start, but it gets there, it gets going, and it is a lot of fun. It made me very, very happy, especially in the day and age where most family stuff doesn't have the balls to be as dark as this. And I want my daughter to have a bit of darkness in her life, man. That's what these stories are all about. That's what fairy stories should be. You know, not rainbows and fluffy fecking unicorns. There's nothing we can watch together. It drives me mad. Because it's either just really saccharine, awful crap that's just drives me mad. It's like, she's like, look, Daddy, and I'm like, I can't look at this. I can't look at it because it hurts my brain. But then the other side we put on Netflix, and it's just swearing, sex, brutal stuff. I'm constantly, there's some things that I think might be alright. Nope, of course, there's a gratuitous shagging scene in it. But this, Dark Crystal, timed perfectly, mate. I loved it. The tone, everything. It was just so good. And it was fucking brutal. I couldn't get her to watch it in its entirety, but I hope she does one day. And I hope she has bloody nightmares about it. And we can learn about death and struggle and the reality of life together, and we can have talks with it. Oh my God, I just freaked out because I just remembered she's at school. Oh, it was so hard walking away. I was cool, man. I was cool. I was alright. I gave her a kiss bye-bye and left her. She was in the sun. She was fine. I stood outside for a bit. I could just see her, and she wasn't like freaking out, running out. She's fine. And they know what they're doing. But there was a guy because I was stood outside one set of gates, but then there was the main gates behind me, and there was the dude there. He was obviously a teacher or whatever, but he's the guy to hang around when there's not many around, when the parents are still kind of leaving, just to make sure there's no psychos stealing the kids or anything. And he was obviously there as muscle, but he was very friendly, like trying to remember all new parents' faces like mine. And he went, hello, and what did he say? He said something like, you all right? How's your day going? Or some nonsense like that. And I almost cracked in that moment because I was walking out the gate, actually out onto the street and leaving my baby girl alone. And just as I left, I just sort of went, yeah, I'm fine. Like that, I'm fine. Like, I wasn't, there was no tears or anything like that, but there was just this weird, like, but my voice betrayed the inner intensity. Oh, I'm fine. And then I went to see my girl. Have you given the forms yet? The lady was stood there with the thing going, yeah, you've not took this. Yeah, I'm not going to. Fuck you. Guys, I'll see you in a bit. I love you and I will leave you. Mwah. Oh, that was fun.